Cape Tribulation, Daintree National Park, the first tropical North Queensland. Creatures. Daintree National Park is home to countless endemic creatures, those discovered no place else on the planet. They are included an exceptional combination of antiquated species advanced from Gondwanan predecessors and later appearances from Asia. Warm-blooded creatures. Of the 5 ringtail possum species found in North Queensland rainforests, the Daintree River ringtail possum Pseudochirillus cinereus is completely limited to the Daintree catchment. In the recreation centre, this species is discovered uniquely in upland rainforest on Thornton Peak and the upper compasses of the Daintree and Mossman streams. When considered a light-shaded type of the Herbert River ringtail possum, usually found all through the Atherton tableland, it was depicted as a particular animal varieties in 1989. Striped possums Dactylopsila trivirgata are very normal all through the recreation centre, especially in the seaside swamps north of the Daintree River, despite the fact that to see one while highlighting requires a combination of karma and ability. Albeit numerous warm-blooded animals living in the recreation centre at nighttime and consequently hard to notice, you might be fortunate to see a couple of animals by day. The musky rodent kangaroo, Hypsiprimnodon moscatus, is frequently dynamic during the day and might be seen scavenging on the woodland floor. This little animal seems to be like a bandicoot, yet has dim, chocolate earthy colored hide. It is the most crude individual from the kangaroo family and is accepted to have remained generally unaltered throughout the last 20 million years. Bennett's tree kangaroo Dendrologus bennettianus is discovered uniquely in the marsh and upland rainforests north of the Daintree River. Like all kangaroos and wallabies, tree kangaroos have developed from possums. Abandoning its life on the ground, this cryptic creature has returned to an arboreal presence, taking care of and resting among the treetops, despite the fact that it will regularly plummet to the backwards floor looking for fallen organic products or to move between confined trees. South of the Daintree River, the more inescapable Lumholtz's tree kangaroo Dendrologus lumholtzi can be found in rainforest, ordinarily at a height above 500 meters. The spotted followed quoll, northern subspecies, Dasyurus maculatus gratulus, external interface, is an imperiled species found in the recreation centre. This feline estimated marsupial is one of Australia's couple of simply predatory creatures. Their reach covers both upland and marsh rainforests and the tall eucalypt backwoods found on the western slants of the Windsor and Carbine tablelands. They have every so often been seen along the coast from the Daintree River to Cape Tribulation. The Goliath white-followed rodent Euromys cordimaculatus is probably the biggest rat, with a body length up to 380 millimeters. Regularly viewed as a naughty vermin, it will strikingly attack homes and campgrounds, biting its way into tents, food holders and surprisingly electrical wiring. This nighttime animal is a productive tree climber. It can without much of a stretch move to the highest point of a coconut tree to devour the huge nuts. With inconceivable steadiness, it can bite a flawless circular opening through the extreme husk and hard shell to eat the delicate tissue inside. Birds. Many bird species have been recorded in Daintree National Park. At sunset and daybreak, whirls of Australian swiftlets, Aerodramuis terrae regina, discover bugs arising over the backwoods covering. Purplish blue kingfishers Ceyx azurea regularly dart into shallow pools from branches overhanging the water's edge to benefit from fish and little shellfish. The glorious buff-breasted heaven kingfisher Tanysiptera sylvia goes from New Guinea during the hotter months to raise in North Queensland. It is handily perceived by its excellent blue back and wings, orange underside and extremely long white tail. Another bird that profits from New Guinea to raise every year is the pied supreme pigeon Ducula bicolor. These highly contrasting pigeons show up in huge numbers around August to appreciate a bounty of natural products found in the swamp rainforest. Consistently, the ground-staying orange-footed scrubfowl Megapodius rainwart is regularly seen scratching for food on the timberland floor. They can here and there be seen building one of their gigantic homes, tremendous fertilizer hills of leaf litter, sticks and earth in which their eggs are hatched. One of the recreation center's most intriguing birds is the huge, flightless southern cassowary Casuarius jansoni. At 2 meters tall, these birds are critical to the strength of the rainforest. They are the lone creature equipped for eating the biggest rainforest foods grown from the ground, their seeds over immense distances. Unfortunately, these heavenly animals are undermined by natural surroundings, misfortune, speeding drivers and canine assaults. An antiquated scene. The scene of Daintree National Park started to frame under the ocean around 400 million years prior, when Australia was still essential for the extraordinary superlandmass, Gondwana. Antiquated streams conveyed dregs to the coast, arranged in excess of 100 kilometres west of its current position. Ultimately, the development of the world's hull lifted these marine stores, raising an immense space of transformative and stone far over the ocean levels of today. Ensuing disintegration of the gentler transformative stone has uncovered the harder basic rock and brought about the sensational, bumpy waterfront ranges we see today. For in excess of 200 million years, progressive environment changes have brought about the compression and extension of rainforest all through a lot of Australia. During the drier ice ages, numerous plants and creatures didn't adjust to the new conditions and were headed to elimination. Yet, in Daintree National Park and the encompassing region, overcast wet peaks and profound clammy valleys gave shelter from these climatic changes for some living things. Those that endure have advanced into the plants and creatures in the recreation center today, a significant number of which have changed next to no since those ice age predecessors. Crude plants. The majority of the world's 19 crude plant families are found in Daintree National Park and the encompassing region. Shielding in small asylums during the drier ice ages were a few types of plants, including a crude she oak, Gymnostoma australianum. This pine-like tree is the last species in the Gymnostoma gathering of plants in Australia and is presently confined to exceptionally segregated pockets north of the Daintree River. The variety was once boundless all through Gondwana, and its family members are as yet found in pieces of the Pacific locale and Southeast Asia. The jeopardized Noadendron Nicholas E is bound to a little region on the banks of a couple of limited streams. This understory tree was first found in 1981 and has not been found elsewhere on the planet. This plant delivers a lovely pink bloom spike comprised of various unequivocally scented blooms. Somewhere down in the marsh rainforest close to Cape Tribulation is the interesting Idiospermum australiense. A confined remain of this antiquated tree was refound in 1972 and has since been found in a couple of different regions in the wet tropics World Heritage Area. It's anything but a genuine relict and the lone individual from the Idiospermaceae family. The word idiospermum is a reference to its odd natural product, which has 4 or even 5 cotyledons, the essential leaves of seedlings, where most plants have just a couple. A significant number of these antiquated plants give a knowledge into the advancement of blooming plants, which started around 120 million years prior. World legacy. Daintree National Park is in the Wet Tropics World Heritage Area, WTWHA. Broadcasted in 1988, the WTWHA reaches out for around 450 kilometers among Cooktown and Townsville. Vegetation in the space's 900,000 hectares incorporates tropical rainforest, open eucalypt woodlands, wetlands and mangrove backwoods. The WTWHA meets each of the 4 regular models for World Heritage posting. These measures perceive the region's outstanding normal magnificence and the significance of its organic variety and transformative history, including living spaces for various compromised species. The WTWHA likewise has social importance for Aboriginal individuals who have customary connections with the space and its encompasses. Culture and history. Eastern Kuku Yalanji country. The Eastern Kuku Yalanji Aboriginal individuals are the traditional owners of this space. Their nation stretches out from close to Cooktown. For the Eastern Kuku Yalanji individuals, numerous regular highlights of the scene have profound importance, including Wundu, Thornton Peak, Manjal Dimby, Mount Demi, Wormboo, The Bluff, and Kulki, Cape Tribulation. A rich exhibit of plants and creatures gave solid food to the Eastern Kuku Yalanji individuals as they voyaged occasionally all through the space. The waterfront marshes were especially useful and could support a generally enormous populace. Understanding the climate cycles and the blend of vegetation types permits the eastern Kukuyalangi individuals to discover an assortment of food consistently. When Jilngan, mat grass, is in blossom, the time has come to gather jaruka, orange-footed scrubfowl, eggs, and when Jun, blue ginger, is fruiting, the time has come to get dawan, Australian brush turkey. Many tree-abiding creatures were additionally pursued, including murrel, tree kangaroos, yawa, possums, and cambi, flying foxes. European settlement. The headland was given its European name by Lieutenant James Cook after his boat, Endeavour, was holed on a reef nearby in 1770. Cook composed, I named, the North Point Cape Tribulation in light of the fact that here started every one of our difficulties. Gold diggers, pilgrims, lumber cutters and ranchers have all transformed the region. In 1873, George Elphinstone Dalrymple drove the initial investigation profound into the Daintree River Valley, naming the stream after Richard Daintree, a conspicuous geologist and companion. Dalrymple composed, the waterway valley is here encircled by a display of incredible excellence, an ideal image of rich tropical nation. Single quote. During the journey, Dalrymple noted broad spaces of land appropriate for agribusiness. However, more significantly, he discovered enormous stands of red cedar. Before long, swarms of wood-getters showed up with the possibility of developing rich from red gold. At that point, these much-valued trees had nearly vanished from most southern timberlands, and inside 10 years the Daintree endured a similar destiny. Numerous pioneers left demoralized, however others remained, resolved to earn enough to pay the bills by raising cows or developing yields like rice, vegetables, espresso, maize and sugar. In spite of the fact that harvests developed well on the waterway pads, life was made hard by flooding, bugs, infection and the trouble of having the opportunity to showcase. During the 1880s, cultivating extended along the seaside belt and broad spaces of marsh rainforest were cleared. Settlements were set up all through the space and the inhabitant populace started to develop. Following World War II, the lumber business recovered force. Broad plots of virgin hardwood timberlands were logged, and by 1955, the Cape Tribulation Street was being stretched out north to permit recuperation of felled lumber. By 1963, it was finished through to Cape Tribulation. A private ship worked on the Daintree River from 1956. In 1981, a few thousand hectares of marsh rainforest and fieldland were partitioned in the Bailey Creek region. In that very year, 17,000 hectares of the final tropical swamp rainforest were ensured with the revelation of Cape Tribulation National Park, which was subsequently amalgamated into Daintree National Park. During this time, a proposition was created to broaden the beachfront street north from Cape Tribulation. Albeit the development of the street was a questionable issue, it was finished by 1984, giving an immediate connection to Cooktown. In 1988, Daintree National Park was perceived globally as a critical regular region with its anything but a wet tropics World Heritage Area. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Life is Often if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.